Welcome to Boss Up Academy, where you can get your real estate updates as well as your business updates. And tonight, I have the biggest young bosses in our area live with me tonight. And if you could introduce yourself, start with Naya first.
Hi, I'm Naya. Oh.
I'm about to say you go ahead.
I'm Naya. I'm a licensed esthetician and a lash specialist. Sorry, y'all.
Hey y'all, my name is Kiana House. I'm a licensed esthetician, makeup artist, and digital entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad to have both of you on here. Y'all are such an inspiration to people your age, people older than you, people younger than you. And so I invited them on because I want them to give their story, give the feedback, and motivate some people. So while Facebook builds our audience, we're going to take a quick little break. Okay, so we're back and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, tell us a little bit about how you two know each other.
You want to go first?
So, Kiana, you can tell us first.
So yeah, I met Naya. It's so crazy because I knew of her, and I knew of like the Truesdales, of course. I hope my connection isn't bad, but yeah, I knew of the Truesdales. I know their family really well and everything like that. And I asked her to be my brand ambassador when I was selling clothes in 2018, and she did that for a little bit, and then what else? Um,
I
I don't know.
think.
Because
Did I do a raffle? And did you win a raffle for my
want to
lashes when I
rapper do
first started?
lashes. It was so
Yeah.
much
When I
going on at
first
the
started.
same time, so we was just connecting and networking really with both of our businesses. So it was actually really beneficial on both ends, and we just our network journey really started from there, and we
Right.
just grew, worked out, went to church together. We'll go to brunch or something like that, talk over, discuss. We did a couple
Photo
photo shoots.
shoots.
I'm about to say in the Charlotte, that's great in the Charlotte area, and we've just grown from there. And we still have our own lanes, even though they're very similar. We can always hold each other accountable and kind of depend on each other when we need to be and everything like that. So she's just really a good business associate, a really good friend, and we're still growing our, relationship. So that's my take on it.
Right. It's crazy because I think back in high school, that's when like I started kind of, I don't want to say hearing about her, but like just knowing who she was. And I had always like would slide up on her like business posts or what type of clothes she wanted to sell, or I would try to like pitch little ideas because I wanted to buy from her. And then, like she said, I became her brand ambassador, and that kind of started our friendship. And it just grown into this. To me, it's a great, wonderful friendship. She keeps me motivated. She's one of those friends I look up to, where it's like, okay, let me stay focused, because she's an inspiration to me. A lot of my friends are. So that's kind of a little bit how we know each other and how we've grown together.
Okay, so tell us exactly for the people that don't know, what is a brand ambassador?
So a
Yeah,
brand ambassador is kind of someone that someone of influence, whether you have a lot of followers or not, just someone that's very active on social media that represents your brand, whether it's clothes, whether it's hair, whether it's mentorship, whatever it is, just someone that just represents your brand and helps you grow as well.
Okay, so what about Naya made you choose Naya as your brand ambassador for your line?
how she carried herself, because that's big to me. Like she said, I really don't care about following. I really care about the person, because I don't want to work with your followers. I want to work with you. Like, I want to work with you. It's because you yourself is what's going to bring me whatever it is I need from you in this business deal. But her personality, just the biggest thing that stuck out to me is that, one, she was clearly taught by some really good bosses. So that was a big thing that stuck out to me, like for real. Like I like the fact that you already know a little bit about business. We don't have to start from ground zero, which I'm not opposed to, but at the same time, if it could speed up the process, why not? And then again, like I said, how she carried herself, she's beautiful, smart, intelligent. We can hold a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So things like that really stick out to me.
And we
And
could help each other
yeah,
grow as well. Like
yeah,
it's not just like a liability or like a leech relationship. We both can benefit off each other's strengths. Because I know a lot of time, or in the past, I used to get her to do a lot of my marketing, making a lot of my flyers. I always ask her questions about maybe business decisions or conflicts that I may have. So that's very important to me, to have someone that we're going to help each other grow, not just you can grow off of me or I can just grow off of you. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
And so she said that you were taught by some bosses. So tell me who your bosses are.
My bosses are my parents. I love them so much. I look up to them so much. We're very, very close. Um, my mom, she's also a licensed esthetician as well as a lash specialist. So it's very, very, very convenient. And I am very privileged to have her literally right beside me in my journey. When I first started, she was always over my shoulder, and now we work together in a suite. So I always have her to just ask quick little questions, or if I really need like an expert opinion, because I consider both of them experts, I just come to them. And my dad, he's really like a risk taker, and so that helps me whenever it comes to investing and just jumping on faith with my business. I look to him for that. So it's very, very, very um, important to me. And I just thank God that I do have them as parents, because they were a very important part of my journey.
Okay. So you said your dad is a risk taker and your mom is like your expert go.
Yeah, she's like the logical and the like tedious one, the perfectionist. So like I come to her with stuff like that. And then if I'm like thinking of an investment or just needing some type of motivation, like if I'm feeling like I'm kind of stuck in the middle of the road, my dad, he'll coach me, he'll push me, he'll remind me, who I am, because you forget whenever you become an entrepreneur or just growing up in general. So I always have him coaching me, whether it hurts my feelings or not. So
So do you think you're a combination of both of your parents, or do you lean more one way or the other?
Um, I think I'm a combination of both. I feel like when it comes to my business, I'm more like my dad. And then when it comes to my personality and like dealing with clients, I'm more like my mom. So, and then I was just thinking, like growing up, I've always worked for my dad. I've been working for my dad since I was in middle school. So just being actually in the business and watching it from literally when it was birthed till now also pushed me, because it just shows me, okay, if he can do it, and if God was with him, he'll be with me too. And so that's just a model I get to look at in my business. He's my role model when it comes to business.
So Kiana, I know that both of your parents are entrepreneurs too, right?
right. Of course.
And
Like I said, my
so,
mom, she owns the restaurant for sure. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
oh,
off.
okay. So I wanted to know, who was the bosses that taught you? Do you have a similar experience because both your parents being entrepreneurs as well, or who would you say you attribute things to?
Definitely. I about to say that's our biggest similarity, that we both come from a two boss household for sure. Because my mom, like I was saying, she's been in the restaurant business for over 20 years. My dad's been a salesman, businessman, all well-rounded person for over 20 years. All my life, I've always known them to have their income provided by themselves. So that alone just always told me, like, I'm gonna experience things in my life. You know what I'm saying? Especially being a woman, I definitely need to experience more things in my life, because I'm very smart, I'm very intelligent, and I'm a well-rounded person. I've even just the backstory. I was always an athlete, so my parents always put me in sports in a way, which I feel like sports really transitioned me into business. So all of being a little girl, being in the sport, and them going to work and them going to their business and doing their daily duties as a boss here, ripping and running there, just seeing it even from a distance, it's always something I could see myself doing, but I was like, I just never know. I had to get more into it. So just growing up, the older I got, the more mature I got, and the more I showed interest in it, then they would kind of like bring me into it, kind of teach me a little bit more about it, even if it was just cooking a meal. Just that alone, just kind of just, I was like, I learned a lot from them without them having to like really like say, Kiana, do this, and that. I learned a lot just from a distance. So I have a lot of respect for them. I ask them everything. I tell them everything. They're probably the only two people on this world that know all my thoughts for real, like especially with a business idea, because I try not to give up too much, but with them, I lay it all on the table. Like, they're gonna know all my business ideas, all my errors, all my thought process, trial and error. Like, they know everything. So just the fact that they have that experience, it just created a comfort zone for me growing up. So it's like, I know regardless of what I do, if I do get into sports, if I maybe go into nursing, I can always go into business, because I like just growing up, that's just always been there. There's always been a comfort zone there. So yeah, I definitely had the same growing up, and it's crazy because it's kind of the same. My dad is more of the risk taker. He's outgoing, like, okay, we'll see how it goes, even if you don't know how it's gonna end. Like,
Right.
let's just see how it's gonna go. My mama, she's like, nah, like it's like a chef. Like, it has to be made this way, this way, this way, so I can get this exact outcome every single time. So yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, I know that what year did y'all graduate? Each one of you graduate from high school?
I think we
2018.
graduated the same year, 2018.
Oh, yeah. So y'all lives are very much
Yes.
a lot,
Mhm.
It was
right?
a
Yes,
match
man.
made in heaven.
For sure, for
And you
sure.
said 2018, right?
Yes.
So tell us, what have y'all been doing for the last 5 years? Well, going on 5 years now. Can you believe you've been out of high school for 5 years?
Right.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh my God, it's so crazy.
Me, it's kind of crazy because at first, I was always the one that school, go to college, become a doctor, set for life. I thought I had my life planned out until I got to college, and I realized it wasn't for me. It's just, I was just in a bad setting. I just didn't want to be there. So I wasn't motivated to finish. I wasn't motivated to go to class. It got to the point where I was just, let me just come home. And I came home and I was at literally ground zero. I had like $50. And I was like, I gotta do something. I'm not the type, like, of course I do have my parents to fall on, but I feel like as being an entrepreneur, it's important to know how to figure it out. You got to figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out eventually. So I'm just like, I got to figure out how to make money. I got to figure out how to do this. So I went to my mom and I asked her, this is around 2019, 2020, right when COVID started. And I asked her, I'm like, can you show me how to do lashes? I need something. And at first it was just trying to make money, just to make ends meet, get my hair and stuff done. But then I fell in love with it. And it's crazy because the next month my brother passed, and I thought the world was over with. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how can I try to start a business? I'm going through this hard time. But honestly, it just pushed me even harder. It pushed me to hit my goals even more because I felt like I was the one to finish. I feel like I was up next. And so that's my purpose. And ever since 2020, I kept going, and lashes has been my main thing. I was working with my dad for a while, and then I went full time last year. I think it was June, July of last year. So I've just been going since then.
Okay, so, and you won't believe this. I don't know if you know this, but I taught your brother when he was
Really?
in first grade.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, and he was super smart, and he had
Yes.
the neatest handwriting.
Yes.
And he went to Clemson, and all of y'all are so smart.
Yes.
And so, when you were just telling me about your brother and his
Mhm.
passion and all that,
Yeah, he is my like, when I'm about to give up, he like, little sis, no, you cannot. You can't do it. I'll try to apply for jobs. Like, I'll be like, no, this is not it. And then won't get called back, or sometimes it just won't work out. And I just always hear him. I can always feel his presence. So that's probably one of the main things that just keeps me pushing. Because I look at it like this, like, I know he was going to be a millionaire. I know he's going to be successful. So, physically, now that he's not here, I'm just next in line. So I'm just I'm just living up to the standard because I remember he used to always like give me money and I would always tell him, pay you back, I'm gonna pay you back. And he was like, the only thing I want you to do is to be successful at whatever you want to do. And so that's like my mental motto. Like just be successful at whatever you want to do and he'll be proud.
So, Kiana, tell us what have you been doing since 2018 and what has led you up to this point of being a young boss?
It's been a lot. And I'm like I was saying earlier, I've always been an athlete. I've always had a busy schedule. I've never not had a busy schedule. So honestly, these past 5 years, I feel like I've been the busiest just because I feel like I'm really entering life. Like you're growing up and you're entering real life, or like she's saying, not depending on your parents no more, paying your own rent. So honestly, while doing a business, I had actually stopped selling clothes. I had opened that business when I had graduated in 2018 and stopped when I got to college. I just didn't have the passion for it no more. So through that time of just rebranding and everything, I've always looked back and just reflected on how much I like makeup. I was like, okay, let me see how I can monetize it for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can do it for fun. Yeah, I can do it on my friends and everything like that. But I'm not doing the clothes anymore. What's next? Like she was saying, what's next? So I can monetize makeup. Let me see how this goes. Started doing that freelancing for a little bit, a couple friends on the dorms and everything like that. We had homecoming, people needed to make up for that. Little things like here, little small gigs. Like I said, I was also in school to be in nursing at Winston-Salem State at the time. And then COVID hit, everyone went home. And at the time, I was paying out of state tuition out of pocket. And it was just a lot. And it was just like, at the time, the cars it made more sense. Like, I felt like God really put me in a position where it was like, all right, you really gotta, what do you really want? Like, not what society thinks, not what you've seen, not who you look up to, nothing else matters but this question here, like, what do you really want to do? And I was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And like, I know I've been doing it, but like, I really want to be a true entrepreneur, like whatever that meant. And so took a little break from school, went and got my license. I said, I need to be professional. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be a freelance makeup artist. I need to go get my license. I need to make it count, make myself credible. So let me go to school, moved to Spartanburg, went to Kenneth Schuler up there, graduated there, started taking makeup to the next level, you know what I'm saying, getting a little serious, branding a little bit different. I changed my logo a couple of times and all, like Nia had said, a past, I don't know if y'all remember, I was doing flyers. So another side hustle I would make flyers for people if they needed it for their businesses or an events or something like that. Just quick incomes, because I always told myself I need to keep multiple incomes. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? I know my biggest passion is, and I kind of want to keep that on the lock, but everything else that mattered to me was just keep multiple incomes, keep something going, keep something monetized, keep something making money. So these last 5 years, I've really just been making sure I had another income for something. So like I said, doing flyers, doing my makeup now. Really, I'm getting into real estate. Not so much, I say, as an agent, so more so, but like, the current trend is Airbnbs and stuff like that. I really could have jumped into it because it's ways you can, but right now I'm just taking my time with. I feel like my big girl moves, my big girl investments. I'm ready to hit the 5-digit, you know what I'm saying, 5-digit, 6-digit numbers and get more into that, because the little money here and there that I've been making on the side gigs and stuff like that are nothing. Like, it's working, but I want more. And I'm just getting into, I feel like I'm just preparing myself to sit in the hot seat. If I'll say the seat's been hot, but not as hot as I know it needs to be. So yeah, I really feel like these last 5 years has prepared me for my next 5 years for it. And not in a bad way, but more so like grooming me into the person I need to be to do the things that I really truly want to do.
So I know Nia said that her brother kind of speaks to her and, she thinks about the things he says to keep her motivated. What do you do, Kiana, to keep yourself motivated?
Honestly, that's a good question. I don't have a problem getting on myself. So I don't even want to say I'll make myself feel bad, but I'll humble myself while also I do a lot of vision boards and I always keep what I want in front of me. So I guess I can say my vision boards and really the vision. I always write my vision out. And just having that alone, that piece of paper, those that graphics and everything like that in my vision every day when I wake up, I'll go to my vision board look at it, pray over it, say my prayers, ask God what I want. I just started a prayer wall. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I've never had a relationship with God, but even just to give a lot of props to Naya, like she knows, like she kind of helped me in my 20s become like have a relationship with God and be in business and stuff like that. So God keeps me motivated. I had to give my credit to him. Like I asked for motivation from him, so I had to give my credit to him. And my parents, those are the only two. Like I said, they worked all my life. So every time I talk to them every day. And every day I talk to them, they're working. So it just makes sense to me, like, you should be working. Like, why do you talk to two bosses every day? They're working and you're at home doing nothing. It don't make sense. So
Literally,
I
I
like
feel
those.
I feel the same way. I feel the same. I feel like let me get up.
They'll make me feel bad for real.
Right.
Oh, so this is so awesome. So I know, Kiana, you're saying that now you doing makeup. Are you? And you say you still doing your flyers some too.
Yes, ma'am.
And then are you doing? Have you? I know you stopped doing the clothing, but are you revisiting that now, or?
I will. It'll be with different products, of course. Like I said, I've been trying to keep it on lock. It is a little secret, but I'm gonna revisit retail again. I'll say that. I haven't just completely stopped retail, but I will revisit it again. Probably
And and most entrepreneurs or most millionaires have a minimum of 3 streams of income. And Kiana was talking about how she thinks about how she's going to monetize things, how to create multiple streams of income. But now I want you to tell us about your multiple streams of income that you're doing as well, to give, the people that are watching a little bit of motivation as well, to tell that they can be there, that even though Kiana's things are 3 separate things, but they all are within the beauty industry, right? So tell us a little bit about the things that you're monetizing to create your multiple streams of income.
So my main thing, like I said, my mom's a perfectionist. So me, I kind of have those traits. So what I did, I kind of try to figure out how I could make the most money out of what I'm best at. So lashes was what I was best at, and I knew the money didn't just stop at me servicing clients. So I started selling lash trays, which became very lucrative because I got the best, the best of the best. And I'm not going to promote what I don't use. I'm not going to sell anything I don't use. So I made sure I had the best quality lashes so that everybody in Charlotte, because there's so many lash techs in Charlotte, everybody wants my trays. I can post, I'll have them, and before I even upload onto my mama.
Yep, she said, I am a professional. I am. She's admitting it.
Yes. And so I just make sure, like, even before I restock my website, I have certain clients that'll halfway sell me out before I upload to the site. And so once I started making more money with that, I also got into teaching and training. And once I started making money with training, I kind of realized this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to branch off and do, and have lashes as my second hand. And I want to make training my first stream of income. And so I just figured out, like I said, how I could capitalize off of lashes and then get that on its feet. And then I can make investments towards real estate. My parents, they do real estate, and I'm interested in starting within the next year or two. So, just wanted to make sure lashes could stand on its own and I could get the most out of just lashes, and then focus on, okay, what else can I do? Because I just want lashes just to fund everything, fund me, and then I can just let that grow on its own, be standing on its feet, and then focus on more investments.
Okay, so now you were saying that you sell lash trays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for the people that are not in the lash industry, but there's a lot of people that's thinking about it or whatever, explain us what exactly is a lash tray.
So lash trays are, I don't know if I have one on hand, but they're basically just the trays that the lash artists use to apply your individual lashes. And it's really just for professional use only. I do have some girls that will buy them to give to their lash artists so that they could have a set. And that's mostly for people that are out of state, so that their set would look similar to mine. And then also, I forgot this one too. Even with the lash trays, you can make custom lash strips. So I'll have people that can't get eyelash extensions, and they'll ask me to make false strips for them. And so I can make them by hand and sell those as well.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like what people are doing with custom wigs.
So if you can't get lashes, or if you just don't like to have lashes on and you just want to take them off, you can get strips, and you'll have the look of having lash extensions, and then you can just peel them off like regular lash strips.
Oh, wow. So, and I want to point this out, that a lot of people are worried about the competition and thinking, oh, there's a million people doing what y'all doing. But how you are the thing that you're monetizing is the lash tray. So actually you're selling to your competition, right?
Yes.
So you're making, and I try to bring this up when it comes up, that you can actually make your competition your customer.
Literally. Yes.
And make money off of them. So it's not all about, necessarily, oh, well, I don't want my lashes or somebody else's lashes to look like my lashes. I'll just sell it to you. You take it to your lash tech, or your lash tech can buy their stuff from me if they want the good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so making, and I want to point that out again, making your competition your customer that's going to leverage you to give you more money. And then you said about the teaching part, right? Yes. So you teach one-on-one classes, you do small groups. How do you do that?
I do both. I prefer one-on-one trainings because I can focus entirely on you. Whether it's a group class or a one-on-one training, it is 3 days long. So instead of it being just like a 1 day, 5-hour training, I broke it up into 3 different days. Just so that we can really, really focus on each aspect of lashes and just building a very strong foundation so that when you leave, you're able to comfortably work on a model or a client by yourself. I know a lot of times lash classes get bad reps, bad names. People think the worst when it comes to lash classes. So I had to, figure out what my competitive advantage was, and then just focus on that. How am I different? How are you going to invest more but still get the most out of your money, get everything that you invested? And what's going to set you apart? I also teach them how to set themselves apart. Show them how I set myself apart, because in Charlotte, like you said, there's so many lash techs. Like I even have so many clients that are lash techs. So everywhere you turn around, there's a lash tech. And I just had to come in and say, well, I'm the lash tech, basically. So, and like I said, even to my trainings, I feel like they're the best quality of trainings you're going to get in this area. My trays, the best quality of trays you're going to get in this area. My service, I feel like they're the best lashes you're going to have. And just like I said, keeping myself at that, or just strengthening my advantage. That was my biggest thing.
So and that goes back, I like how you said, I'm the lash tech. I got the best lashes, right? When you come to me, you're going to get the best course, right? How do you, with so many haters and a lot of young people worried about who don't like them when it comes to social media, different things. Oh, your mom was giving you your props. She said, you are a great trainer.
Well, she is too, because she was my trainer.
Yeah, she was your trainer. Very good. So how do you still have your confidence and okay with that, when people may not like the confidence that the both of you display?
I feel like people are going to talk. They're going to talk. And I always think about it. If I wasn't good, if I didn't have anything that would intimidate them, they wouldn't talk about me. And even the Bible says that you're blessed when people persecute you, when people talk about you. So I just always keep that. And I know, I always have someone that's going to uplift me. My parents, they're going to uplift me. They're going to strengthen me. So it doesn't matter what people say. I'm still paying my bills. I'm able to live on my own. I'm able to drive the car I want to drive. I'm able to fund my business. So honestly, I like that they talk. I'll be telling them, keep talking, because I'm going to give you more reasons to talk. And I just feel like I said, even with football, if you don't have the ball, they're not going to chase you. They're not going to try to attack you. So it's the same thing. If you don't have the ball in your hand when it comes to your business, they're not worried about you. They don't have a reason to talk. They don't have a reason to go and put other people down. They don't have to another reason to go put you down to other people. So I always take that as a good sign that people talk about you, that people hate on you, because they're trying to get you out of the way. But when God's hand is over you and over your business, because I make sure to keep him first and front when it comes to my business, nobody can be against you.
Okay, so Kiana, you can piggyback off what she said. How do you keep things in perspective?
Honestly, I really keep it simple, and I don't even mean for it to come off like this, but I've always felt like if you're worried about other people, if you're worried about haters, you already have the wrong mindset for business, and nothing that you want to do is going to work for you because you're worried about what someone else is doing, and that's going to dim your focus on what you need to do. When you have the right set, and all bosses gonna think the same. A real boss is never gonna think about what somebody else is doing because it takes the energy and time for what you're doing. And the real boss don't even have that energy. They don't want to give that energy out to even look at another person's way. If we're not speaking market, if we're not speaking demographic, if we're not speaking my competition, but your thoughts and opinions about me, you know what I'm saying? Like just something that's really not gonna benefit me, something that's gonna be on your mind, not mine, something that was born in your mind, not even mine. These thoughts weren't even bred from my own. You know what I'm saying? They come from me. They didn't come from me. So like I can't look over there. Like that's the distraction. So in my eyes, I just feel like I say, like if you're thinking about anybody else, that's the wrong mindset. So I always told myself, you're gonna be a businesswoman, you need to have the right mindset. And the biggest thing that you can't do is worry about what other people are doing unless they're doing what you want to do. And all bosses already know that. So that's
And I'm glad you pointed out about mindset. And people don't realize how far your mind can either take you or bring you back. And then, Kiana, I see that you're really big on that because you were talking about, like you're mostly self-motivated and through your vision board and manifesting what you want out of life, and that you're so focused and so zoomed in on what you're doing that you don't worry about the distractions. And like you said, when you're a boss, you don't have time to worry about minions stuff, right?
right. Right.
And I mean, a lot of times, and I've never seen anybody doing better than me that's talking about me.
Literally.
Right. They compliment you. They give you your flowers.
Uh-huh.
Right. I said they give you your flowers.
And that most people that are other bosses, they are excited for you, happy for you, when it's the people that are behind you, and it doesn't necessarily mean financially, but the people that lack their confidence is behind you, lower self-esteem, lower mindset, not in the same mental space. It doesn't have to do with finances, but it has a lot to do with confidence. Mm-hmm. And so both of you seem very, I know you are, I'm not going to say you seem, I know y'all both are very confident. So when did you come into, this is my reality, this is who I am, and I'm going to own it?
I'll say really when I stopped playing sports. When I stopped playing sports, and I honestly felt like that was ending my chapter of my childhood, even all the way through high school. And I said, after my childhood, you have adulthood. So what comes with adulthood? Entrepreneurship, business, money. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in my childhood really is gonna fund me in my, my adulthood, unless I want to be a professional basketball player or something like that. But it's time. I just feel like you just feel it. Like I don't even mean to come off like that, but I really feel like if you always want to be an entrepreneur, or you are one of those people who say like, I was born to do this, like it really just clicks one day. And one day it's just in your mind, you just feel it inside, like either this is not what I need to be doing and I need to go find what is going to make me feel like this is what I need to be doing. Or one day you're like, okay, I like this. This is what I need to be doing. I should have been doing it. So I honestly don't want to say I don't have a time frame on it. It's just when I said it was just like a light bulb, like get it. But go ahead.
All right.
So now, what do you want to say?
I think whenever I dropped out and I was like, okay, like I got to do something, whether it would have been lashes or whatever it would have been. And I just told myself, I said, okay, once I decided it was my career, I said, you're going to be the best. You're going to be great. You're going to learn fast. You're going to build an empire. And I think keeping that vision in front was what powered me the most. And I'm big on faith when it comes to my entire life, but especially my business. And one day I had a business meeting with God, and I gave him my business, and I told him I would manage it. And he said, well, if it's in my hands, it can't fail. So it doesn't matter what happens. And so I said, okay. And ever since then, no matter if I have 0 clients that week or if I have 20 that week, I know that I'm going to win. I know that God has this business, and I know that he will carry me. He will lead me. And so that's my confidence in itself. So just keeping God first, keeping him first, and keeping that vision, and keeping that, like you said, the mindset, knowing that you're going to win no matter what it's looking like, knowing that you're going to come up on top, knowing you're going to be successful. So it's literally all in your mind.
So yeah, it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that both of you have a lot of self-talks.
A lot.
I talk to myself every day. All the time, every day. I talk to myself every day, all day. Yes. I'm proud of it. And if you want to be successful, you have to be proud of it, because who else are you going to talk to, really, sometimes?
I feel like having that self-awareness and being able to have confidence in yourself and being able to talk to yourself is a power in itself, because a lot of people need the outside voices. They need someone pushing them. But what happens when everyone's talking about you and there's nobody on the outside pushing you? You have to have that strength within yourself. You have to have that confidence within yourself, because if you can't even believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. There's power where you believe. So it's like you have to be your biggest fan, whether you feel like it or not, whether you believe you are or not. You have to cheer. You have to cry, wipe your tears. You just have to. You have to know how to do it, because you're trying to operate a business on your own. So I feel like your body, yourself should be able to stand on its own.
What would both of you give to somebody your age that they don't really know what direction? And your mama should be proud. She is on here. She is, yes, because both of y'all have been doing an awesome job, communicating and clearly displaying what it takes to be a young boss. And I think that both of you are ahead of your time. And it took a lot of some people, what you're doing right now, even though it may not seem big to the both of you, but it takes a lot of courage to transition from school. Like you said, you left school. I ain't going to say dropped out. I'm going to say you left school. And Kiana, you said you took a break, and you may come back to it, or you may keep pursuing on with entrepreneurship. But that takes a amount of courage that a lot of y'all are young ladies, young adults, but more mature adults at 50, 60 years old don't even have the guts to do. So I highly commend and applaud both of you for, stepping out here, believing in God, believing in your confidence, believing in who you are, when there are so many things that people your age are getting into, distractions, things that could happen to young people. But for you, both of you, to keep excelling, keep growing, and keeping on a path of positivity and shining your light for those around you. And a lot of people are watching you all that you don't realize are watching you. And I mean, they are cheering you on, even though you may never have met them. So I wanted to say,
I said thank you to everyone.
So what would you say to a person your age that's just scared to step out, do something different? They may be working in a plant, a dead-end job. They may be in school, and school really not for them. And I'm not down in education. I wholeheartedly believe in education. I have education, but the path to entrepreneurship is on a different level, and a lot of times means a different income bracket for most people. And the biggest flex is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So, what advice would you give to somebody that does not have that foundation, that support system that they feel like they need to go and venture out on their own? What would you tell them?
I think I would say just to stay in your own lane. And when I say that, I mean in every aspect when it comes to, checking who's in your ear, checking who your clientele or your customers or just your target audience. Just stay in your own lane because what works for you might not work for someone else. And what didn't work for someone else may work for you. And it's easy to, especially in the beginning, as you're learning your competitive advantage, as you're learning your niche, as you're learning your target market, it's very easy for people to like talk down in your ear. But my thing is there's only one you. And so if God has placed you on that journey, on that mission, and you know for sure, like, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to be good at, this is what I'm going to be successful at, that's where being your biggest supporter comes in, like making sure, okay, I know that I can do this. I know that I have this vision. I know it can be done. I'm not going to let anybody get in my lane. Just keep a tunnel vision and keeping whoever is necessary. Like I said, my parents, keeping them in my circle, not listening to everybody else. Sometimes I have to not even ask them. Sometimes it's just me and God. So just making sure your lane is clear, making sure that you're not looking and getting discouraged by someone's chapter 27 when you're in chapter 1. So that's the biggest thing for me, my biggest piece of advice.
Okay, Kiana.
I would say, and again, I like to keep it simple. Well, not, I don't want to say simple, but I don't want to make it. I don't want to overwhelm nobody because I can go down the rabbit hole for real. But
me too.
find out who you are, because 9 times out of 10, you don't know who you are, and that's why you feel the way you feel. You don't know who you are, and most people, I feel like, even though they're older, they've done some form of success. They've done what society calls success. They've done what's been working for them and stuff. They still don't know who they are. Deep down inside, they don't even know their real passion here on earth. They don't have a relationship with no higher up, no nothing. They just go in emotion. And it's, I don't want to say it's that mind slavery, that slavery mindset kind of process thing that I kind of pull it into. But me, before you can create success for anything, before you can go into entrepreneurship, create some form of success within yourself. And meaning, like, I feel like finding out who you are is the most successful thing you can do. Because a lot of people still, they grow up to be gray haired and still don't know who they are. They just been doing the motions for so long and just been following instructions and doing this and doing that. And okay, I've always told to do this, so I'm gonna do that. They've never took that time to be like, what is it that I really want to do? Not what I've been told to do, not what I've been shown to do, not what I've even been influenced to do. Nothing else. What is it, like, deep down inside, like in that dark hole inside of myself? What do I want to do? What am I scared to say? What am I scared that someone will hear? What am I scared that someone would judge me or react? What reactions am I scared of? Like, I feel like until you overcome any of that, no YouTubing, no affirmations, none of the things that you see most girls do now and stuff like that, none of that stuff is gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still gonna do the same thing. You're gonna just be going through motions and stuff that you don't even know is really what you want to do. So my biggest piece is to really sit down with yourself, have conversations with yourself, discipline yourself to answer the question of who am I? What does my name mean? You know what I'm saying? Because your name is going to be everything with entrepreneurship. But if you cannot say, if nothing comes after that, but such and such is such and such, if you don't create, if you don't fill in that blank for yourself, don't put nothing else fill it for you. But if you don't fill in that blank for yourself and find out who do you mean and what do you mean to this world and what do you really contribute to this world, to yourself, I shouldn't even say it to this world. What do you contribute to yourself? Because whatever you can contribute to yourself, you definitely can contribute to anybody else. So what do you feel like inside of you other people should have? Like, not even say obligation, but like that's how it should really, you should really cherish yourself as a gift, like that other people should, you know what I'm saying? Like, should be grateful to be around you because that's how I feel with other people. I'm grateful for them to be around me. So I want them to be grateful for me to be around them. So my biggest thing is, like I said, if you don't know who you are, even though, like I say, that they may seem like it, like, what does that have to do with business, Kiana? That's not, like, you know what I'm saying? That's not, what does that mean? That's the whole point. If you don't even know what that means, go find out what that means. If you don't know how what that means, go find out how you can find out how that means. Like, really become vulnerable with yourself and just take the back seat. You might have been in the front seat. You may have been holding the wheel the whole time, got everybody on your back, everything on your back. But sometimes go in the back seat and be like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Be a kid again. Like really channel that inner child, because I feel like it's the biggest thing, especially with, like I said, like you said, older people, even younger people. Pay attention to your inner child. Answer their questions because they matter. They're still there, whether you're 50, whether you're 15. You have an inner child. You have a little person inside that is really the most honest person that you'll ever know. They're gonna tell you exactly everything that you want to hear, and they're also gonna tell you exactly everything that you need. Sometimes you have to silence it, but I feel like my biggest thing is, like I said, find out who you are, find out what you want, find out what your inner child wants, find out what you need to heal, find out, like, that's the biggest thing you need to heal in general, because just because you got a whole bunch of band-aids on you, that don't mean that you
Sure.
can start an entrepreneurship journey and think that the money and the fame and all these financial freedoms and stuff is gonna heal that. Because again, like I
Right.
said, if you're gonna become the better version of yourself, no form of business is gonna be real success to me.
Right. And I kind of want to piggyback off of that because I found this out about myself. So a lot of times I like to be very authentic, very vulnerable when it comes to my journey, because I know me, I needed to see that it's not always perfect. And so I think it's important that Kiana spoke on finding yourself and really knowing, why you're wanting to do something, and just finding that success within yourself. Because what I learned about me before I was on my heal, well, really got intentional with my healing. Just how faith without works is dead, works without faith is dead as well. So if you're just trying to perform and just work and copy all these people and look at society and trying to pick up all these different traits, but you don't really have that faith within yourself, or you don't have that sense of self, it's dead. You're dead on the inside. It's killing you. You're going to be burnt out. You're never going to really reach. Yeah, you might make money. Yeah, you might hit 6, 7 figures, but that's nothing really when it comes to your mental, when it comes to knowing yourself, when it comes to really being, because my definition of success is just my peace, my happiness, my joy that I have. And it doesn't matter about money. God is going to provide that at all times. So just knowing that my mental and my spirit and my emotions, all of that is at a good place, and then going to do my work, because I was running myself dry. I was always burning out. I wasn't having that sense of like, okay, why? Like, yeah, because I want to pay bills and get my hair and stuff done, but why for real? Is this what I'm wanting to do? Or is this what, society wants me to do? So really just knowing yourself, knowing what success means to you. And like I said, do not try to work, copy. In a society where being booked and busy is what everybody wants, no. Give yourself rest. Really find yourself while you're also growing as an entrepreneur. Because like I said, just like faith without works is dead, works without faith is dead.
And
And
I'm
I
glad
learned that about me.
And because it's a domino effect, that if you don't know yourself, then all these things that come behind it is just a train wreck.
Literally.
So I'm glad and then you got to start with the cause, the root, and then all these things that it will affect going forward. Now, Kiana, you said something before we came on about you wish you had known about budgeting better. And what was the other thing that you said? I can't, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Time management.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Like managing my time and everything.
And time management. Yes. That's what I wanted y'all to talk about. Because I don't think people get that. When you're an entrepreneur, nobody's cracking the whip, telling you what time to get off, what time to start. So how did you figure, tell us about your time management and where you were and where you are with it now.
It's still a process, because I'll say, like, everything is a process with me. I don't want to say I've just done anything. Like, I'll say I'm done and I perfected this and that and the third when I got so much to show for it that I can't see it no more. But right now I'm comfortable. The time management thing I got going on right now is just I really have to do lists. I'm a list person, so I'm a writer. I cannot remember nothing if I don't write it down. I don't care what it is. Like even food orders, I gotta write down. Like I got to write something down. And with my time, even that, like I had to write down. I will write down my schedule. I will write down my schedule for tomorrow. 6 a.m. this, 5 a.m. this, 4 this, wake up this, 5:15 bathroom break. Like I'm picky. I'm all the way down to the nitty gritty. So with me, I feel like I was bad with it because with school that would make it hard. You got classes, and it's like, ooh, do I really want to go to this study session, or do I want to work on my business? Like I know both of these are really supposed to be priorities, but it was just hard being a student and doing it. But then working more part time, full time with it, I feel like my time management now has improved a lot just because the platforms that we have now, I will say, like you have to think about like social media when it comes to posting and everything and getting content out there. They have changed how you can pre-plan and pre-post things without even having to take that time out like you used to have to do. Like every day you have to get on there and do this, that, and the third. So batch content, stuff like that have kind of helped me. So I will say I really use a lot of softwares and programs and try to get into any kind of apps that can kind of help me with my time management. Because I can be honest and say, like, me alone, I can't keep it all in here. It's already a lot going on in here. So I try not to be that person that be like, well, I'm gonna get on myself about it. Like I'm gonna just push myself every day to do this. Like, no, I need to help myself. Like I need to write this. If my friend gotta call me every morning, like I have other besides now you're gonna say like other friends, let me girl call me this day, let's have a business meeting, let's talk about this. So I use other people, use what you need, use what works with you. Don't always look at what you see. Like even you go on YouTube, what's a good morning routine? Girl, you're gonna see a lot of morning routines, but until you wake up one day and say what morning routine is gonna work for me, that's the only way it's gonna really happen, honestly. So
Okay, so you would say routines, lists, and leveraging technology to help you buy back your time, because we all on a 24-hour window. But what some people do within that 24-hour window is powerful in moving you forward and closer to your dreams if you're able to leverage your time. So I want to recap that. You said technology, using apps and scheduling things. Then you have where you write things down. And a lot of people want to say, I'm going to remember that. And like you said, there's too many things going on in your head to remember that are more important to use your brain cell or brain power on doing. So making those lists and keeping times, and then also collaborating with other people to help you stay on track, if I understand that correctly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Naya, tell us about your time management and how you do that and work that to be the boss that you are.
I think my biggest thing, like Kiana said, is listing and having it all written down in front of me. Cause my thing is I will overdrive. Like, for instance, like she said with technology, my booking site helps me because on my booking site I have a set schedule. I have a policy that you have to stand by, and if it was up to me, people could come from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. But because I have that booking site, nope, you have to come within my working hours. If you want to come later, before, or on an off day, you have to pay extra. And that's another thing. I have set off days. I have one day where I just completely rest, and then I have another off day that'll be for content, ordering inventory, restocking. So that's not really like an off day, but I'm just not doing clients that day. And I think it's just being intentional with your time. I get up 5:30 in the morning. Some days I'll sleep. Some days I'll get up and get my day started. And the days that I am intentional to get up and get started, I see a lot more productivity. I see a lot more structure, a lot more organization. I'm checking off my list entirely. And that's just because I'm being intentional with my time rather than just, okay, let me wake up and go do these clients and then go back home. So I think the number one thing is just being organized and intentional, because we all have the same 24 hours, and it's your choice of whether you're going to use that to your advantage or if you're going to just waste it.
And this brings me back to when you say you get up at 5:30, and when the days that you do get up really early, you seem more motivated. You seem like
Mhm.
your brain is really moving to get some things knocked off. And that brings me back to the early bird gets the money.
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely.
For sure.
So now, so we got 5 minutes to wrap up. Can y'all believe we've been on here for an hour
Right.
already?
It does not
You
feel
didn't feel
like it.
like
I
it.
was
It didn't
nervous
feel
at
like it.
first, and now I'm just, I feel like it's going so smooth. I'm
It
loving it.
is.
So now, when Kiana was saying about, oh, your daddy's on here now.
Who? My,
He said, wonderful, wake up at 4 a.m. if you
he
want it.
got to
That
do the
was
most. He got to do the most.
And he got to challenge you because 5 o'clock now, I mean, he set the bar up to 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
when he be doing his motivational Hope University,
Yes.
the Hope Dealer.
Yes, the hope dealer.
So now I want y'all to give them a little bit of tips about your budgeting and how, like, and y'all kept saying, I don't depend on my parents. My parents will help me, but I'm independent. I'm doing this on my own. So how do you manage? And I know that both of you said that y'all live on your own, right? So how do you manage living on your own, working on your own, and still having money to do what you want to do?
I say people really don't have money to control this, to be honest. And I feel like every entrepreneur feels like that. Like even though you get purchase on stuff that someone else might feel like is like that was just a purchase. Like I feel like once you step into true entrepreneurship, you only want to spend on things that's going to get you to the next level. Like you really unnecessary spending kind of gets it don't make sense to you. So I feel like my biggest thing was like I say I had to really finding out who I want, what makes sense. Like okay, at one point in time, yes, I would love to go get these Jordans spend these monies on these new Jordans and these new shoes, this new purse, and that, this new whatever. But if I get all these things, I'm not gonna have this money to put into my business tomorrow. So it goes back to mindset, and my budgeting really ties a lot to my mindset because I really question myself now before I spend any kind of money. And I had to tell myself like you got to put up, and if you're gonna spend it to make some more. Like if you're gonna spend some money, at least spend some money to make some more money. Like I had to really like question myself and make myself not even feel dumb in a way, but like be like, okay, you're gonna spend this money on something that's not like you get a new pair of shoes, but what's that gonna mean? Like these shoes aren't gonna if someone creases them tomorrow, the value is gone. So like do it really make sense to make this purchase? Or I could, you know what I'm saying? I could spend money on a class. Like it's just like I said, I don't want to say I'm a pro with budgeting now. I just feel like I make smarter choices with my money. So it's like if I'm gonna spend money on something, them shoes, that hairstyle, all this, that, and the third can wait. But then again, to take back, I need to spend this $400 on this class because that's an investment for myself. I may need to spend this $400. I can't. Right? It's not. It don't make sense for the budget. But if it's gonna better me and take me to the next level, I'm just gonna take that route other than that route. So now it's just I try to put up a lot, but if I'm gonna spend, I'm trying to spend to invest in my future or to get me to the next level or to make more money. So I also I'll be honest and say I'm really not a big with numbers. I feel like I'm more big with spirit and not even spirit, but like connections with people. So a lot of my time now I've been meeting with financial advisors and a couple of my friends are accountants and stuff like that. So they've really been giving me the full scope of like just learning money. Even though I know what money is, but like no, I want to know the ins and outs. I want to be a mathematician almost like and that's really a goal for me to be honest with you guys. So now I'm just trying to prioritize and what makes sense, what don't. And that's just my biggest budgeting technique, honestly.
So questioning what you need and then also leveraging yourself to invest in yourself. And that's the part that people don't realize that training and all of that, like what Naya is providing, is mandatory to stay ahead and that you will get a return on that investment when you invest in yourself. Then you're just leveraging yourself to go to the next level. You'll, what they say, spend a check and get it right back,
Right.
plus some
100%.
with tax. So Naya, tell us about your budgeting.
Um, like I said, entrepreneurship is a journey. And so for me, it took for me to realize how much I was wasting to help me budget. And I know some people have it, some people don't. So with me, I didn't know how to budget. I didn't have any education on money. I didn't look at it as stewardship. So like last year, my business made give or take 70,000, and I had nothing to show for it. And so this year, I started learning about money, getting financial education, paying myself, and just kind of monitoring, like, okay, what am I spending on? Like Kiana said, is this going to help me make money? Is it going to just be a waste? And I think looking at it as like, okay, I have stewardship over this rather than, oh, this is mine. So now I look at it like someone lended me this and I just have to take care of it. How can I help it grow? How can I multiply it into more? And it took trial and error for me. So I feel like anybody, like, don't feel like it just has to be perfect. You have to know how to budget. You got to know this. You got to know that. I think, well, for me, I'm a hands-on learner and I have to learn things the hard way. So I learned a lot with trial and error. And I feel like experience is one of the best teachers. And so, like I said, it just taught me more. My mistake just taught me more.
Okay. So, and that's what people need to hear. I mean, and that's why I said that both of you are inspiration, not only for people your age, but people older than you. Because there's a lot of people out here that are living check to check and they cannot cross over or be able to leverage themselves into a better situation just because they either don't have the understanding of knowing what it means to invest in yourself, or letting those experiences be their teacher, and instead they're with the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. But you're saying, hey, that's not me. What I did last year is not what I'm going to be doing this year. And that is a part of being a boss, is being a lifetime learner and correcting yourself and giving yourself accountability. I think is the biggest key. So I have thoroughly enjoyed both of you, and I just hope that that somebody will, reach out to you, and I'm sure that they will. Maya Gunn said definitely learn through experience. But I do hope that even if one person gains something, or you inspire some young person, whether it be your age, older, or younger than you, that this message tonight gets to them. And I really appreciate all the nuggets you all, both of you, have gave us tonight. And we're going to close out with your mama's.
Thank you, Mommy. She was the biggest
Thank you. For sure.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Jada said hi.